they say seeing is believing, but after today, some of you may not believe your own eyes. Known as the gentleman thief, Apollo Robbins has the art of pickpocketing down to a science, literally. And today, he's lifting the veil on some of his most mesmerizing ruses. Please welcome Apollo Robbins. How are you? Nice to see you. I'm a little nervous to let you get too close. Welcome. So I have a confession to make, by the way. Have a seat, Apollo. All of you in our audience met Apollo earlier today. When you checked into our studio for the show, he was actually posing as one of our security guards. So, Apollo, tell everyone what you were actually doing.
I was pretending to be security as I would walk along, and I was asking them to turn off their cell phones or Bluetooth. And as I was doing that, I was putting it in their pockets or under their watches or inside their jackets.
Really?
Yes.
And so you're putting these basically these coins or whatever, or these...
For example, can you stand up? I'll show you what it looks like.
Really?
Yes. So you have this lovely ring. I'm not ready for the commitment, but you have these beautiful pieces here. Do you have any pockets on you?
No, I don't think so.
Not at the moment?
How did you do that?
Well, that's rather strange. I don't know how that works.
Did you put that down my pants, Apollo? Excellent.
It works rather quick. You can move these around and hide them on side of people. In this case, I hid it under your watch. And
you
just
did?
Out. Yes.
Oh, that's so funny. All right, so did you guys, let's see in the studio audience, how many of you all have those Katie coins that you found on your person? And how many realized what was going on while he was doing it? Did anybody realize that he was doing it? So how are you able to do this without people realizing that you're tucking something in their pocket or their purse or under their watch?
In this case, it's kind of easy because I'm giving a task or authority figure, and we have a tendency to follow what the authority tells us to do. But with stealing and trying to distract them a lot more, it's a different social contract and becomes much more difficult because you have to divide their attention and manage it.
You were planting things on people, but
yes.
What your real area of expertise is taking things from people.
Or borrowing.
Borrowing, as a pickpocket. But tell me about
I like to say I specialize in future used goods.
Oh, so what is your methodology for pickpocketing?
It's a combination of using their proximity or their personal force field to get inside your space, and then also being able to divide up your attentional pie. And I try to change their priorities. There's a great quote that says that an occupied mind is missing the present. And I think that's really what I take advantage of.
And I know that your style of pickpocketing is based on magic versus kind of what would be used by a common thief. So how does magic come into play? Well,
the magic aspect is that magic traditionally works in a form. It's taking advantage of a system of assumptions that you make about reality. And then I try to play with that reality. Now, in this case, I can use magic as a narrative. If I did a magic trick too. Now, you do magic, don't you?
Not really.
I heard that you do magic tricks.
I have one magic trick that's really kind of lame, but it's
not like a penny
I
coming
can
out
make a penny go down my head and out my mouth.
Can I see it?
No. I'll show you later. It's not that good.
This same type of thing, though, when you're trying to engage someone with a little story or a narrative, the magic trick becomes misdirection for while I'm stealing for someone.
Oh, okay. So I'll tell you the penny trick that I do. Do you have a penny?
I have a poker chip.
Okay. All right. So basically what I do is I go like this. I have it go down my head, and then I hold it up like this and say, it's not in my hands, it's not in my mouth. And then usually kids like this. And then I go. And it looks like it's coming out of my mouth, right? Is that sort of the same thing that you do, or not really?
Yeah, here, try this. Have you seen me on video before today?
No.
Okay, great. Here, let me see your hands.
Okay.
And watch this kind of close. Now, this is kind of simple, but if you watch it, put your other hand on top. Now, there's a way that I could put this in between your hands without you feeling it. So right now, it goes inside my hand. I'll try it on yours. 1, 2, 3. It's inside your hands now. That's not there yet. But if you look above, it falls out of the air, then it's right back in the hand. Did you see it go?
No, that was
fun, huh?
crazy.
But you can do that one.
Really?
Yeah. But you see, that's me measuring your attention and seeing where your sight line is.
Oh.
So when you look down, as your eyes are tracking down, I go up and just put it on top of my head.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. But I have to be responsible to see how you're perceiving it. And that's usually something that we don't do in magic. We kind of go on autopilot, and this requires me to be connected to you as I'm doing it.
That's amazing. Well, I know that you've got your first gig as a full-time magician in Las Vegas.
Yes.
And you estimate that in 4 years you picked 81,000 pockets, including former President Jimmy Carter's Secret Service agents. Are you serious? How did you do that?
Well, my boss had said they're not going to let you shake Carter's hand because they don't want it to get in the news. And he said, but they didn't say anything about the Secret Service. And he changed my role in the show, so I found 2 agents that were off by themselves. I stole one of their belongings, their credentials, the keys to the motorcade. And he didn't want to be the only guy, so he said, you got to do this to the other guys.
And you've got Jimmy Carter's itinerary, right?
Yes, yes.
That is so funny. So is that when law enforcement approached you to help be a consultant, to give them some advice on how to deal with people like you?
Yes, it trickled in. And at first it was questions from law enforcement about how different criminal organizations work, Colombian diversion teams, or there's a group called YAKs, Yugoslavian, Albanian, Croatian, Serbians, and they use different techniques of how they steal. But then my wife, when I met her 10 years ago, she kind of tapped me on the shoulder. She says, it's fun to be entertaining, but you could also be relevant. You should look at how this applies to deception and attention as a whole. And she had this study of psychobiology, and she pulled me into the science community, and that changed everything.
Wow, it's fascinating. What a crazy life you've had.